Once upon a time, in a kingdom not so far away, Cinderella, now Princess Cinderella, lived in the grand palace with her husband, Prince Charming. The story of her rise from rags to riches had spread far and wide, a tale of hope and dreams fulfilled. But behind the smiles and the regal facade, a darkness brewed in Cinderella's heart, a darkness fueled by years of torment at the hands of her stepmother and stepsisters. In the luxurious palace, Cinderella's thoughts often drifted back to the days of her servitude. The cruelty of her stepmother, Lady Tremaine, and her stepsisters, Anastasia and Drizella, had left deep scars. As a princess, Cinderella was determined to exact revenge. She formed a secret group of 4 loyal knights, men she trusted implicitly. These knights had sworn an oath to serve her in all matters, no matter how dark. Sir Gareth, the fearless leader, Sir Roland, the cunning strategist, Sir Alden, the silent but deadly assassin, and Sir Thorn, the master of disguises. Together, they became her instruments of retribution. Under the cover of night, the knights began their campaign of terror against Lady Tremaine and her daughters. Their first act was simple yet terrifying, a warning. Lady Tremaine awoke one night to find the walls of her bedroom covered in blood-red words, "Justice is coming." As the weeks passed, the knights escalated their actions. They sabotaged carriages, poisoned wells, and spread rumors that Lady Tremaine and her daughters were cursed. Panic set in, and Lady Tremaine's household lived in constant fear. But the true horror was yet to come. Cinderella watched from the palace, satisfied with the reports of her knights. But torment alone was not enough. She summoned Sir Gareth and gave him her final command regarding her stepfamily: throw them into the pit of damnation in the Black Forest. Let them suffer for eternity. Sir Gareth, loyal and unflinching, nodded. The knights executed the plan with precision. Lady Tremaine and her daughters were kidnapped in the dead of night, their screams muffled by the dense forest. They were taken to the Black Forest, a place feared by all for its dark legends and hidden dangers. The pit of damnation was a deep, seemingly endless chasm, rumored to be the gateway to hell. Without hesitation, the knights threw Lady Tremaine, Anastasia, and Drizella into the pit. Their cries echoed briefly before being swallowed by the darkness. Upon their return, the knights informed Cinderella of their success. The news brought her a grim satisfaction. But her thirst for control and justice was not yet sated. Recently, there had been rumors of a monstrous wolf terrorizing a nearby village, a beast that preyed on children and livestock alike. Cinderella summoned her knights once more. Track down this big bad wolf and bring him to me. The terror must end, and the kingdom must know that no threat will go unanswered. The knights set out on their new mission, traveling to the village where the wolf had been sighted. They interviewed villagers, scouted the forests, and set traps. Sir Alden, the assassin, took the lead, using his skills to track the beast. After days of searching, they found the wolf's lair. The big bad wolf was no ordinary creature. It was a massive, intelligent beast with eyes that seemed to gleam with malice. The knights engaged in a fierce battle, using all their skills to subdue the creature. Finally, they managed to capture the wolf and bound it with enchanted chains. The knights brought the captured wolf to the palace. Cinderella met them in a hidden chamber beneath the palace, a place known only to her and her trusted knights. The wolf growled and snapped, but the chains held firm. Cinderella approached the beast, her eyes cold and calculating. "You have terrorized my people," she said softly. "Now you will face justice." The wolf's eyes met hers, and for a moment, there was a strange understanding between them. The beast, in its own way, had been a victim of circumstances, just as Cinderella had been. But Cinderella's heart had grown too dark for empathy. Cinderella ordered the knights to build a cage in the town square. The next day, the wolf was displayed for all to see, a symbol of the princess's power and the fate that awaited those who threatened her kingdom. The villagers cheered, grateful for their princess's protection. But as the days passed, a sense of unease settled over the kingdom. Cinderella's actions, though driven by a desire for justice, had unleashed a darker side of her nature. The knights, too, began to question the morality of their actions, haunted by the screams of the innocents they had terrorized and killed. One night, as Cinderella sat alone in her chambers, she found herself reflecting on her journey. She had achieved everything she had ever dreamed of. She was a princess, loved and respected by her people. Yet, the satisfaction she sought continued to elude her. The memories of her stepmother and stepsisters, the wolf, and the terror she had inflicted on others began to weigh heavily on her soul. She realized that in her quest for vengeance, she had become something monstrous, driven by a darkness she could no longer control. In a moment of clarity, Cinderella decided that she needed to change. She summoned her knights once more, not to give them a new mission, but to release them from their vows. She confessed her wrongdoings and expressed her desire to make amends. The knights, loyal to the end, swore to help her redeem herself. Together, they set about righting the wrongs they had committed. They sought out the families of their victims, offering compensation and apologies. Cinderella used her influence to improve the lives of the villagers, focusing on justice and compassion rather than fear and retribution. Years passed, and Cinderella's reign as princess became known not for the terror she once inflicted, but for the kindness and justice she ultimately embraced. She built schools and hospitals, helped the poor, and ruled with a fair hand. The story of Cinderella, the princess who had once walked a dark path but found redemption, became a legend. It was a tale of warning and hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of hearts, the light of goodness could prevail. The kingdom flourished under her rule, a testament to the power of forgiveness, redemption, and the enduring human spirit. And so it came to be that many years past the darkness she created, and many years of her having become queen of the land, that late one dark night alone in her bed she awoke in a cold sweat, only to see the tall imposing figure of a knight stood before her, sword grasped blade down with both hands above her. It was Sir Tristan, son of Sir Gareth, one of Cinderella's long-past loyal knights she had commit dark deeds. She need not utter a word. Cinderella knew this was the due she must pay. And with a whispered sigh, she closed her eyes and accepted her fate by the blade.